I'm going to let you in on how I build 30k and upwards MVPs for real life clients using a combination of Replit and Claude Code. We're going to go over essential MCP servers, subagents, and Claude MD files that I use on every project to guarantee results. In this instance, we're going to be rebuilding my Jupyter chat app, but I'm going to show you how you can do this with your clients using meeting transcription tools. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. And it starts inside of Replit. Replit is just really good at starting apps and figuring all out. I talk about Replit quite a lot. I really like Replit. Certainly because it's able to take, I think, beyond the MVP stage, and then I take it out into Claude Code and work on it there. Saying all that, it's quite expensive. I'm already out of credits, so this is going to cost me money to do this tutorial, so it would help if I dropped the referral link. You do decide to use Replit, use that. Now, if you're doing this with a client, I advise jumping on a call with them and getting them to run through what they want to build, all the features and various things like that. And what I advise is that you transcribe that call, and you can do that with today's sponsor, Blue Dot. Let's run through how I generate PRDs with my calls. When you join a call, if you go up to the top here, you can join it with a bot or without bot. And this can obviously be depending on your usage. If I'm going without a bot and I start capturing, it's going to put a message here to say that I'm actually recording. But if I do it with a bot and start capturing, then it's going to join the call, and it's just going to be a lot clearer that there's an AI note taker involved in the call. And here it's going to transcribe the call and do everything you'd expect from an AI note taker. And what I love as well is that you can go into your calls, and from this chat I can say generate PRD, and it will go ahead and actually generate that PRD. I can then copy that PRD and paste it directly into Replit. But what I really like being somewhat involved in the EU is that it is GDPR compliant, and for you Yanks it's CCPA compliant as well. And most importantly, they don't use your data to train the ML model or the AI. This is a bonus here. If you click the extension anywhere outside of Google Meet or Teams, you essentially get loomed. So if I click my entire screen here, click share, and I get an hour recording of doing my demonstration, my presentation, whatever it is that I want to do, hit stop here, and immediately I'll get a shareable link that I can send to my client. Thanks Blue Dot for sponsoring the video. Links in the description. Now, Jupyter Chat is my project. I don't have a PRD, so let's jump into Replit and start with a prompt that I would typically use. I want to build an AI chat app where users can draw different AI models in a simple chat interface. A user should be able to use the app for free with a very limited number of credits and a limited selection of AI models, but can also sign up for more credits or pay a subscription for even more credits and full use of all AI models. We use OpenRouter for the AI models so that billing is in one place, because Jupyter Chat uses all of the different services and it's just a pain in the ass when you want to add a new model. Users can view an organized list of their chats along the left hand side, as well as editing their last message and message branching, creating new chats from a specific point in a chat history. I hope that makes sense. It's a bit messy explained, but whatever. The user should be able to change the default model from the starting chat. I just wanted to think if there was anything else, because again, we can build in new features obviously, but whether there's enough to capture the overall architecture of the app. I'm going to say as super admin, and I should have access to usage data such as messages sent, model pricing. All messages should be encrypted in the database and decrypted on the front end. I don't want to read your messages. So yeah, encryption is really important. Good thing about AI, you can kind of be a bit stupid and not really think, and it will kind of figure it out. So I definitely take advantage of that when I want to get the idea out. It's more important to get the idea out than it is to be able to articulate it. I think that's it. Again, no PRD, no, tech spec or anything like that. So let's see how it goes. So it will do its thing now. It will think about it and it will come back to me. Okay, here we go. Let's have a little look to see what's going on. Multimodal chat application with tiered crediting system, message encryption, chat branching and admin analytics powered by OpenRouter. So it's saying 20 minutes. I've had it say 40 minutes once and have had it run up to an hour. Again, it's why I like Replit, because I know it's building it, it's testing it, it's just making sure it works, rather than the others where it will give you something that might be broken. I've had a few Replit ones that are broken, but most of the time, yeah, I'm happy for it to build the entire app. If you want to start with the design, which is what the other kind of things do without the integrations, totally fine. I've never really done this. I don't know what the answers are. I've always just gone and build the app. And I'll do this like on the train and then kind of got to the office and started working on the app. Crazy. So anyway, let's leave it do its thing. Let's check back in 20 minutes and see how we get on. Okay, just checking in here. It's got to a point where it needs some of the API keys and whatever. So I'm going to put these in and then we can hit continue. Just as we hone in on finishing this up, I'm watching the testing. So it's going through a lot of the, user flows. I just saw it editing a message, checking that it regenerates after it edits. It looks like here that it's taking payment details and things like that. So again, another point for Replit here, and actually just testing the app before it says it's done. Really cool. Oh, it's asking us to put these in actually as well. Okay, we're back in business. It's saying it's created the MVP. Let's give this a whirl. We can log in. It's using Replit. Again, we'll figure that out. We'll sort that out in a bit. But if we log in with Replit here we go. So it's gone into our chat app. There's our credits. We can log out. Let's see if this works. Tell me a joke. Perfect. It works. But we want to get this into Claude Code because, again, you can keep working inside of Replit, but personally, again, it's quite expensive. And for me, I just prefer working inside of Claude Code. So if we go to Git here, we want to get it into Git and then pull it down from Git. So if we create a remote, confirm, and now we can push to main. And if we go to GitHub now, here is Jupyter Chat v2. So if I git clone this, go into warp, git clone, boom. And if we go to our thing here and we go to our secrets, this is where all of our secrets are, right? These are all the things. And if we go to edit env here, we can copy that. Let's open this in Cursor and create an env file. Just got to paste all of those in there. I normally run this then in run dev. I think there's one change we need to make, and that is because of this, and this is like the same procedure, which is all good. Normally I just whack that inside of the chat here, and it's basically to do with the .env file isn't being pulled into this file, and it will just sort that out with .env. Cool. So it's installing .env. Replit domains is not provided. Okay, so Replit, or if this is our first problem, Replit domains indeed wasn't inside of here, inside of our .env. So we will get that by console logging inside of Replit. And now REPL ID is missing, so we'll console log that too. Great. So this is good. 5000 is a port that's already being used on Mac OS. So we just need to change the port to, let's say, all my apps run on 3001. So let's just do that. I encountered a new error that I hadn't encountered before, so I think it's like an hallucination on how Express is running. So I literally just opened up an old project and copied and pasted the code. So if we go to localhost 3001, here we go. Let's see if we can sign in. Yeah, so we need to basically add a new auth. I've set up a new application inside of auth0. I've prompted Claude to go, I want to update Replit auth to auth 0. And then I've got an MCP called ref, which is a documentation MCP. I'm saying friggin' use that. So here we go. It's using Exa to do some searching, which is great. I'm going to say yes. And let's see how we get on here. We'll check back in a second, but hopefully we'll just have authentication working through auth 0. So that's just finished it up. Seemed to do a really good job. I've inserted the environment variables. Let's see how it got on, because I'd be very impressed if that was a one shot. So we should click this. It should go to auth 0. So here we go. See details. We need to add this callback URL, which is very, very normal. So callback URL, logout URL, I think we can just go like that. And then web origins, we can just do that as well. Let's save that. We should be fine. We'll try logging out and see what happens. Let's give that a refresh. Here we go. So accept. We should get redirected back. And we're logged in. But we do this. So hello, this is a test. Let's see if we can use... gosh, these are old, aren't they? Let's do 1.5, see if that works. AI service error. Let's look at that. No endpoints for that, so that doesn't exist. So what I might do now, basically what I'm doing right now is I'm getting the models that we have available inside of the old Jupyter chat, and I want to bring those into the new Jupyter chat because I just know that they are the most up-to-date and current models. Let's just copy that and put it in. Boom. Cool. So yeah, we have all the models that we should exist in the previous version. Let's just walk through Claude Code as well. So let's just open up a different one here. Let's just take a look at the MCPs that I have. So I've got, yeah, as I say, I've got Exa, I've got linear server, which is for features and bugs and things like that. Ref, which is documentation. Sengrep, which is security. And that's my way of assessing. So I'll run Sengrep MCP against this, see if there's any flaws, but it should be relatively okay because it's just so simple right now. And then Superbase is specific to this the old Jupyter chat project. This is basically still going to be connecting to the database in Replet. It uses Neon, but it integrates really well with Replit. I might add this MCP if we start to use Superbase here, but we're fine with Neon for now. But those are my MCPs. We go to agents. We've got a test writer agent. I have mixed luck with agents. So TypeScript error resolver, ref MCP checker, just to make sure that everything is using the up-to-date documentation and stuff like that. Architecture security. So overall, is the architecture secure? Feature research, I think this one basically says anytime we plan a new feature, just make sure we use ref and Exa. Front-end architect, again, it's the same as the architect security planner and the test writer one. So those are my agents that I use. I want to show you my root Claude MD file as well, because especially with the new version of Claude Code, it just wasn't picking up any of my MCP servers or agents or anything like that. So I've reinforced using them inside of my Claude.md file. This is so important, by the way. Basically, when wrapping up any task touching the backend, always run through the architecture subagent. So I'm making sure that it uses that subagent, and then using the Exa MCP verify best practices. Similarly, when wrapping up the front end, always run through the front end architecture subagent, and give a second opinion and use the Exa MCP. So I'm telling it to use the MCP and the subagents to get the job done. Writing any test, always use the test writer subagent. TypeScript error, always delegate to TypeScript subagents. So that reinforcement is the only way I was able to use subagents inside of Claude Code. So while editing, I realized I didn't really give you a good look at the final result. Now you can see here that it's actually come a long way actually implementing a design. Now, if you want to part 2 of this, because this is a video in all of itself, this is me using the Figma MCP server, getting the design up and running. And I just want to show you that I can say again, tell a joke, and this will work. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Now I can see some bugs going on here. That's not the point. The point is that this app worked at the end of this video, and I've subsequently worked on it since. So let me know in the comments if you want to know how I got this far. This MVP is more than enough to launch. I would often run it through the semgrep MCP. That's really important. And Claude Code also has a security assessment command as well. You could push this back up to Replit and deploy using Replit, or you can push this up to Vercel, copying over the environment variables, of course, and here you'll have a working prototype. This workflow for me is just churning out MVPs. Let me know your thoughts, feedback, anything you have, or comments about my workflow, any ways you think I can improve on it. Don't forget to check out our sponsor Blue Dot, and until next time, keep on vibing.